Hi guys. On this video, you will learn how to bypass BitLocker recovery blue screen loop on each startup in Windows 10 and Windows 11. This video will help you if the BitLocker keeps asking for recovery key every startup even after entering the recovery key. But if you want to see where you can find the key or how to bypass the BitLocker recovery without password or recovery key, then refer to other videos in description below. This video will be divided into 4 parts. First part, unlocking BitLocker drive from recovery environment via second recovery screen or CMD. Second part, suspending or turning protection off. Third part, disabling BitLocker loop from BIOS. Fourth part, additional suggestions. Let's starting with first part to show you how to unlock BitLocker drive from recovery environment. If you are unable to stop BitLocker loop from this blue screen, try to enter the key from second recovery blue screen as followings. Press ESC key to open the second recovery blue screen. You may need to press F1 to open second recovery screen. If your computer boot into your PC/device needs to be repaired blue screen, that mean your recovery is disabled or the BCD is corrupted in your computer. So you have to create a bootable USB in your mobile or in another computer. After that, boot your computer from that bootable USB into advanced recovery menu. Refer to description below for more details about how to create a bootable USB and how to boot from it. Type the recovery key and then click on continue to unlock the BitLocker encrypted drive. If you have more than one encrypted partition, you will see an error message saying that the drive specified is not the operating system drive. To fix that, you have to unlock all encrypted drives and then suspend the BitLocker using command prompt as instructed on the next part. How to unlock BitLocker drive from command prompt. To unlock BitLocker using CMD, do the followings. Type this command to determine the letter of encrypted drive. Manage BDE status. As you can see, both D and C partitions are locked in my computer, so I will show the BitLocker recovery key ID or identifier of locked partitions using these commands. Manage BDE protectors get C. Manage BDE protectors get D. If you have the text file of BitLocker recovery key, open it as following. Type Notepad and press Enter. Click on File tab and then select Open option. Navigate to the text file and open it. If the identifier number is matching the shown ID in the CMD, then type this command followed by the recovery key. After that, press Enter to unlock the BitLocker encrypted C drive. If you have more than one locked partition or drive, open the BitLocker text file for each partition and unlock it one by one using the same command, but make sure to use the correct recovery key and the correct partition letter. After unlocking all partitions, you have to suspend or turn off the BitLocker encryption for all encrypted partitions as instructed on the next part. Second part, how to stop BitLocker loop by suspending protection. To suspend BitLocker protection from CMD, type the shown command followed by the letter of encrypted partition. Suspend protection in all encrypted partitions one by one using the same command. To turn off BitLocker from CMD, type the shown command followed by the letter of encrypted partition. Notice that the decryption takes longer time, so you have to wait until the percentage encrypted reach 100% before restarting the computer. Also notice that you can show the BitLocker recovery key or password once the partition gets unlocked using Manage BDE Protectors Get C command. In running Windows, you have to open the command prompt as administrator in order to execute Manage BDE commands successfully. Now, close the command prompt window and then click on Continue to Windows 11 icon to restart your computer into login screen. Once your computer booted into desktop, search for BitLocker and then open Manage BitLocker app. From Manage BitLocker app, you can resume the drive encryption if you want by clicking on Resume Protection. In addition, you may disable BitLocker recovery permanently by clicking on Turn off BitLocker option, but this is not recommended unless you don't care about data protection. Now, your computer will not ask for BitLocker key again, unless you do a hardware or firmware changes or any changes that trigger BitLocker recovery in future. Third part, how to disable BitLocker loop from BIOS settings. Press ESC key to show additional recovery options. Press ESC again to go to UEFI or BIOS settings. Also, you can press the F2 key repeatedly after powering on the computer to open BIOS settings. This is the list of the most common keys to open BIOS settings for different desktops and laptops. Navigate to Security tab and then enable Secure Boot option. In Asus and other laptops with Megatrend BIOS firmware, click on Advanced Mode and then navigate to Security tab to enable the Secure Boot. From Exit tab, select Exit Saving Changes option, or press F10 or corresponding key as shown in your screen to save new changes. If you have Dell or another computer with BIOS similar to this, you have to do the following changes. Navigate to System Configuration and then select USB Configuration. Disable boot support. Navigate to Thunderbolt Configuration or Thunderbolt 3, TBT, and disable Thunderbolt boot support in Thunderbolt pre-boot modules. After that, enable Security Level, No Security option. Navigate to Miscellaneous Devices and disable Secure Digital SD Card Boot. Also, if there is an option to support USB Type-C boot or pre-boot, then disable them too. Navigate to Post Behavior and then change Fast Boot to Thorough. Click on Apply icon to apply new changes. If the Trusted Platform Module or TPM is disabled in your computer, enable it from Security tab in order to stop BitLocker recovery loop. This is the most common triggers for the BitLocker recovery loop in most computers, because the decryption data will not be available to unlock of BitLocker encrypted drive automatically when the TPM is disabled. It's worth noting that the TPM configuration may take another name in some computers. For example, it may be named FTPM in some AMD motherboards, or PTT in some Intel motherboards. In Lenovo and other laptops with BIOS settings similar to this, the TPM can be turned on by changing the security chip to enabled under Security tab. After enabling the TPM, click Apply icon or press F10 key from keyboard to save new changes. If you have done any changes in BIOS that trigger the BitLocker recovery but can't remember that changes, then you can reset the BIOS to factory settings or BIOS defaults to bypass the BitLocker boot loop. However, this could be the source of BitLocker error or may lead to a new issue, especially if your computer customized to support new hardware upgrades. Therefore, if you decided to do a BIOS reset, you have to take a video for the entire BIOS setup using your mobile before doing BIOS reset, so you can revert settings back if you advanced into a new problem. Fourth part, additional suggestions. If there is any external storage like DVD, USB drive, or SD card connected to your computer, you have to disconnect it before booting, as these drives can trigger the BitLocker recovery, especially if they contain boot configuration files. There is a coin-size battery on every computer called CMOS. This battery helps the BIOS to store the hardware settings, such as date and time, and BitLocker configuration data. If the CMOS battery is corrupted or expired, then you have to replace it with new one. If all previous suggestions not helped, you have to disable the BitLocker protection. Then disable the TPM and enable Clear option or Clear Security Chip option to clear the TPM data. After that, click Apply or press F10 to apply changes. Back to BIOS settings and enable TPM and uncheck Clear option. After that, boot into Windows Desktop and re-enable BitLocker encryption. Notice that the BitLocker identifier and recovery key will be changed to new ones, so make sure to export the BitLocker key into safe place. Updating the BIOS firmware can help in fixing BitLocker loop and other computability issues. To update your BIOS, you have to turn off the BitLocker encryption first. Then search for the correct update file from the manufacturer official website of your laptop and download it to your computer. After that, send the update file or folder to a USB drive with NTFS file system, so you can update your BIOS from that USB drive. There is a link for another video with more details about updating BIOS firmware in description below. Finally, don't forget to refer to video description and pinned comments to see if there is any new update or modification to any method or even new method about stopping BitLocker recovery boot loop. Also, don't forget to add a comment mentioning your computer model and the method that help you to solve the issue, so others can apply the method that help you if they have a computer model similar to yours. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, leave a comment and subscribe.